In this lesson, we're going to talk about the modified dialog box. Let's start another new file in SOLIDWORKS and open a sketch on whichever plane is available. I'm going to just sketch a rectangle from the origin this time and place a dimension. We're going to spend most of our time talking about this dialog box. It doesn't look like much, but there's really a lot going on here. The first thing that you can do is enter in a number. So you put in a number such as 4, and if you press enter, the dialog box goes away and the number is used to rebuild the sketch. Let's double click on it. Again, to change the number, say 5, and this time let's use the go light or the traffic signal here. And this rebuilds the sketch, but it keeps the modified dialog box open. That's a handy thing because quite often you want to make several changes instead of just a single change. Another method that you can use in the dialog box is use these spin arrows. You can go up and down, and the increment, in this case, it's incrementing by 1/10 of an inch. The increment is set by this plus or minus question mark icon. Now, you might think that this is tolerance because of the plus or minus, but it's not. This is increment. And so the default increment is 0.1 inch. You could key in something like 0.05 and hit enter, and maybe another one 0.01. So you have several of these that you can choose from. And then when you type in one that you like, you can click make default and then press enter. So now as I hit the up arrow, it increases by just 1/100th of an inch. If I go back here, I have to click make default first and then click on 0.5, and then 50 thousandths of an inch will be the default increment. Now you can also use the spin wheel on your mouse and either direction, and that will increase or decrease the value correspondingly. Or you can use this wheel on the modify box. This series of rectangles here is supposed to be a graphic for like a thumb wheel or something, so you can make changes of value. Okay. Now, there are a couple of things to be aware of. You can divide the increment by 10 by holding down the Alt key. So this should increase it by 5 thousandths of an inch. Okay. I'm holding down the Alt key and using the spin wheel, and that's dividing the increment by 10. And if I hold down Control with the spin wheel, that multiplies the increment by 10. So that's 1/2 inch per increment. Now, this also works with the arrows. Okay, here I've got Control pressed down, and I'm pressing the arrows, and the increment is 1/2 inch. And if I hold down Alt and use the arrows, now it's 5 thousandths of an inch. And now I'll hold Alt and spin the mouse wheel. And again, 5 thousandths of an inch. And Control, mouse wheel, and 1/2 inch. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways to control the value in the modify box. I think it's a nicely set up little interface that's very useful once you get used to it and you get it set up the way you want to. Now, let's talk about what all of these controls are. The green check and the red X is something that you should be used to by now, where the green check just says, okay, let's exit this dialog and keep the value that I've established. And the red X means, okay, let's get out of the dialog and return to the original value that was here when I started. The traffic light, again, is going to rebuild the sketch. It won't rebuild the entire model, but just the current sketch, and it will keep the dialog box open. These two arrows will reverse the sense of the dimension, and that's a pretty cool thing. Notice also what's happening to the dimension as I do this. It gets a negative in front of it. So that's another way to reverse the sense of a dimension. You could put a negative sign in front of the dimension and press enter. Okay, so that's some of what's going on here. Now, this icon, I don't worry about too much. If you use dimensions on the drawing that you use to create your model, then this is an icon that you'll want to become familiar with. Because what this is doing is it's marking the current dimension to be put onto the drawing. Now, if you can think that far ahead and you know while you're modeling which dimensions are going to be put onto the drawing and which ones are not, then this type of thing is right up your alley. Personally, when I'm modeling, I never use the same modeling method that I would use to create a drawing. So I always just recreate dimensions on the drawing. But that's up to everybody individually. Okay, now you may have seen this tooltip that keeps showing up. I'm going to create an equation in here, but in order to do a good equation, I've got to have a couple of dimensions. And I want to have named dimensions. So up here, I'm going to click up in this top box where it puts the name of the dimension, and I'm just going to call this width and press enter. And press enter again. So this dimension is now named width. If you click on the dimension, this should show up over here in the property manager as the primary value. But let's use the hide show items to show dimension names. So now we can see that. Okay, so now let's put a dimension on the height. Come in here, click this, and I'll just put a dimension in here called height. And now I want to write an equation. So I'm just going to press the equals sign on the keyboard, and this enables me to write an equation. I can get a whole bunch of SOLIDWORKS mathematical functions and even file properties that can be used inside this equation. So I'm just going to say that the height is equal to the width divided by 2. Simple equation. And now there are a couple of things that disappear from the interface. The scroll wheel is gone, the arrows are gone. And so we'll click on OK. And as soon as we do, we get a sigma symbol, which means this dimension is driven by an equation. Now, another thing that I'd like to point out is that global variables have replaced the old link value system, because global variables and link values were really the same thing. SOLIDWORKS has merged them. Okay, now I wanted to demonstrate global variables. So let's create another box, and we'll just type in, instead of the value in here, we'll just say that this equals the word infinite skills. SOLIDWORKS sees that I'm trying to create a global variable, and so I'll say yes, that's what I'm trying to do. And when we click the green check, again, SOLIDWORKS puts a sigma symbol on here indicating it's driven by an equation. I can look over here and see that it's telling me that I have equations, and this symbol is the global variable symbol, indicating that I have a global variable. Now, a global variable can be used this way. Just anytime I want, I can say this equals, and as soon as I start typing it, it pops up down here, and I can select it from the list and click OK. So that's how you use global variables. And global variables are different from dimension names. Just be careful not to get those messed up.